think about finally having everything you always wanted?
Because Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984 is everything that Wonder Woman fans have been waiting for. Hey guys, it's Sean O'Connell, the managing editor here at CinemaBlend, with a review of Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984. Spoiler free, I'm not going to give away any of the plot specific details, and believe me, there are some huge surprises coming, but I'm just going to give you an idea of whether this is a movie that's worth going to go see either in a theater, if theaters are open near you and you feel safe doing so, or because of the monumental groundbreaking deal going on between Warner Brothers and HBO Max, if whether you want to press play on this on HBO Max to stream it on Christmas Day. Before we do that, do me a favor, go down and hit subscribe, turn on your notifications. We're reviewing all the new movies that are coming to theaters and streaming here on CinemaBlend, so you want to make sure you catch all of our videos.
The world needs you. You know what you need to do.
I want to start with the fact that I think that this version of Wonder Woman that we see in Patty Jenkins' sequel is a return to form for the character after having to endure what happened to her in Justice League. It's unusual where we're at with this character because this movie was supposed to come out in 2019, which would have been closer to on the heels of what we got to see in the Justice League version that went to theaters, where she was not quite handled the way that executive producer Zack Snyder and even Patty, the way that Patty sort of recognizes how she handles Diana and works with Gal Gadot. So this feels so much more like a continuation of what we got to see in the initial Wonder Woman origin story that Patty Jenkins delivered several years ago. We returned to Themyscira to see a young Diana participating in some of the Olympic challenges that the warriors of that island partake in. There are elements, story beats, and characters that come back who were significant to that first Wonder Woman, and it just builds on the world in a way that sort of enriches the fabric of this Wonder Woman universe that I feel Patty Jenkins is trying to establish at Warner Brothers. And I know that Warner Brothers and the DCEU have sort of gotten away from having a shared universe. They're not really chasing after the Marvel model anymore, but that doesn't mean that these franchises, Wonder Woman in particular, what James Wan is trying to do with Aquaman, that they shouldn't at least feel like they're part of a connected package. And it's really refreshing to see Gal Gadot working with Patty Jenkins again to build off of what they did in the origin story, to deliver a sequel that's really true to the character and more consistent in tone to the types of stories that they want to tell with this character, and setting the stage for where they could go for years to come.
It's all art. That just a trash can.
It's just a trash can. Yeah.
But when you're doing a sequel, you have to sort of up the game. And one place where most superhero comic book sequels do that is with the villains. That's absolutely the case here in Wonder Woman 1984. As compelling as Diana continues to be as a character, I left this movie raving about Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig and the versions of Maxwell Lord and Cheetah that they pull off in this film. They are given really substantial character arcs that tie in very closely to a lot of the struggles that Diana is going through in this movie. And again, it's because Patty Jenkins has a commentary that she wants to get to, that there's a story that she really wants to tell that is relevant to important things going on with Diana, but important things that are going on with the world. And that's where Maxwell Lord sort of fits in. It also, in a way that the origin story did, references a lot of the powers of the old gods, of which Diana and the Amazonians and Themyscira, all of this stuff is pulled from the powers of the gods. And the way that they do it informs a lot of stuff that's coming with Maxwell Lord and Kristen Wiig. Also, you just get one of those opportunities where a character actor like Pedro Pascal, who's doing amazing work in The Mandalorian, but finally gets to shine without having to have a helmet hide his facial reactions. And Kristen Wiig, who we attribute to comedy, but has really been able to do some outstanding dramatic work as well, too. When you unleash them in a comic book world and sort of say, like, hey, we want you to ground the challenge that these villains present, but we also want you to have a lot of fun with it, these two are perfect in doing that. I think that there are moments in Wonder Woman 1984, in fact, probably with the overall arc of the movie, the villains walk away with the more meaty story, and you will leave having a conversation with other people who saw it about a lot of the things that drove the villains forward and Diana's response to them.
Citizens of the world,
I'm here to change your life.
I do want to point out but I can't talk about them, that one of the coolest things about Wonder Woman 1984 is that there are still some really great surprises. There are several moments throughout the course of the film that have not been ruined by the marketing and will not be ruined here. But I want to share with you that as a DC fan, as a comic book geek fan, there were just times when I sort of screamed out loud in my living room. And I'll be honest, I watched this on a link. It was a streaming link to sort of replicate the HBO Max element of it. I was not able to see it in a theater. But I can tell you that because theaters are still open where I am, I plan to go back and see it in a theater as quickly as possible, particularly in the IMAX, because there is some big screen spectacle that you guys are going to want to appreciate. And so I really do honestly hope in my heart that it's safe for you to go see this in a theater somewhere near you. Not that it's going to lose an element on streaming, it's still going to be really compelling, but there are moments that demand the big screen. And Patty's got some great surprises waiting for you guys.
Life is good, but it can be better. And why shouldn't it be?
Okay, so let's get to my only complaint of the film. And here's where I will tell you guys I've been able to see it twice because with the screening link, it was still active the next day. And I went back and rewatched it because there was an element of it that stood out to me, is that I wish that Wonder Woman 1984 had more Wonder Woman. And that's a weird critique, but it's because it focuses so heavily on Diana for a long period of time. And the movie spends a lot of time without the costumed Wonder Woman on screen. But there was a moment on my first time through where I was like, this doesn't have as much Wonder Woman as I thought it was going to have. And then like the back half is a lot of Wonder Woman action, superhero action, sort of DC comic book action. But when I went back and watched it the second time, that's when I really paid attention to like how much Wonder Woman is in this. And it might not be as much as you're hoping to get. I'm not saying that the character development isn't interesting, because it super is. But if you're going into it for like wall-to-wall superhero action, it's not that necessarily. And so I'm going to point that out just because there's some people who might be wanting to go see full-on like Diana kicking ass elements. And while that's in there to a certain extent, it might not be as much as you are hoping for.
Your time will come, Diana. And everything will be different.
So with all that in mind, I am giving Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 1984 4 stars out of 5. I gave the original 4 stars out of 5 too, and I think that this one is on par with that movie, just in a completely different way. It thinks much bigger. It has better villains than were offered in the original story, but I think the origin film, the first Patty Jenkins Wonder Woman movie, focused more on Wonder Woman as a character and how she fits into this world. This one really tries to develop a lot more about Diana and then give more time to the villains. If you're a DC fan, if you liked what Patty and Gal Gadot did in the first movie, you're going to love this film. Check it out the day that it drops, whether you are able to watch it on HBO Max, whether you're actually able to go out to a theater and appreciate what she did with her IMAX cameras and some of the grand scale action. It is without a doubt the movie that Wonder Woman fans have been waiting for. And trust me, I know you guys have been waiting for a really long time for this one. It was supposed to come out in November of 2019, and then it got pushed to June of 2020. And then because of all of the theater delays that we've been enduring as an audience, we're now getting it on Christmas Day. But it's a Christmas gift. It's something that you guys absolutely will appreciate. Like I said, I'm giving it 4 stars out of 5, and I think you guys will enjoy it as well too. Make sure that you keep it here on CinemaBlend for our coverage of not just this movie, but all the bigger movies that are coming out at the end of December. And then, of course, going into 2021 as we try to figure out the movie landscape and what's happening with the big studios and when the movies that you are most anticipating are coming to theaters and streaming services. You're going to want to keep it here at CinemaBlend because we're going to have you covered on all of that for months to come.